Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. A day of snow showers blanketed the region today, with little more expected through the night before tapering off. Our storm tracker team is tracking some more snow expected to hit tomorrow and to continue into the weekend. For more on what you can expect, let's toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost, who has a look at our first forecast. Aaron?
Yeah, things have been pretty active, obviously, out there throughout the evening. A lot of the focus shifting a bit further to the south of us tonight. As you can take a look at our current radar, those heavier shades of blue, or those darker shades of blue, indicating heavier snowfall rates that are occurring right now. We do have numerous winter weather highlights to talk about for us in the valley locations. Winter weather advisories through tomorrow morning. They include the Flathead and Mission valleys, where we could see storm total anywhere from 3 to 8 inches. Higher amounts expected near the divide and definitely in the higher terrain. These are a little more serious, those winter storm warnings that are in effect. I've got a full update coming up shortly.
All right, thanks, Aaron. And to keep an eye on the latest conditions in western Montana, just download the KAJ Storm Tracker weather app to your mobile device and take forecasts from our Storm Tracker team on the go. It's free on the Google Play and App Store. One woman is dead after a car accident that happened this afternoon between Columbia Falls and Whitefish, leading to a second crash in the same spot. Trooper John Underwood with the Montana Highway Patrol says the first crash involved two vehicles, a dump truck and a passenger car. The dump truck was headed west on Highway 40, approaching the intersection of Dillon Road, when the driver of the car headed east lost control of her car and crossed the center line for unknown reasons. The driver of the dump truck was unable to avoid the car hitting the back of it. The female driver of the car died on the scene. And immediately after the first crash, two vehicles collided with while trying to avoid that wreckage, and occupants in both vehicles were transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Underwood says that the road conditions and speed are suspected factors in the fatal crash, but the incident does remain under investigation. The avalanche danger has been hiked to high in the southern Missions and Swan ranges. Travel in avalanche terrain is not recommended as a considerable avalanche danger exists. That's according to the West Central Montana Avalanche Center. The center says that the southern Missions and southern Swan Mountain ranges have taken the brunt of the storm so far, and more snow will further stress the snowpack. And while a high avalanche warning might deter some from enjoying the Montana backcountry, it does not mean you have to avoid your outdoor activities altogether. Packing the right equipment like a transceiver to send and receive signals to your group can help save you in these situations and keep you safe. Keeping a shovel and avalanche probe can also help, but understanding your surroundings is the easiest way to have fun while staying safe in the backcountry.
I mean, stay off them slopes greater than 30 degrees, wind-loaded slopes, where the wind obviously has pushed the snow from one side of the mountain over to another side, you know, and them are generally very unstable. But yeah, if it's a high avalanche danger, you just, you know, you just play in a lower elevation and flatter stuff.
And he says to make sure you check avalanche conditions online before heading out this weekend to avoid problematic areas. Crews are tearing down the first viable Frank Lloyd Wright designed building to be demolished in more than 40 years. The teardown began last night after a failed negotiation to buy the property. Plans to demolish the Whitefish building first surfaced in November of 2016. Since then, organizations including the Montana Preservation Alliance and the Frank Lloyd Wright Building Conservancy have been working to put a deal in place. On Monday, a full-price $1.7 million offer was submitted to the building owner by 341 Central LLC out of Chicago. Disagreements over the security deposit amount and concerns over the building's current condition led the deal to fall through before yesterday's deadline set by the seller. The building was on the National Register of Historic Places, and there is no timetable to when the demolition will be completed. State Superintendent of Public Instruction Elsie Arnson has been working with the Montana Contractors Association to raise awareness of careers in construction among K-12 students. Thursday, she spoke with students from Flathead and Glacier High School at the site of the home construction that is being done by those students. The construction of these homes is part of a program that teaches students about the construction trade and filling the industry's need for more skilled workers. Arnson was given a tour of one of the completed homes and two that are still under construction. She talked to them about how every individual has their own path and that you don't need to go to college just to make a career for yourself, while you can do it in something like construction. She also talked about the importance of being engaged in school, but also said that it isn't just about learning inside the classroom.
It's not just about learning inside the school, it's about learning in the community. It's benefiting the community. It's making not only their community proud, but Montana proud.
And the last 2 houses being constructed by the students are expected to be completed in May. The Missoula Children's Museum remains closed after tests deemed the air quality as unhealthy. The facility, which sits above a private cigar club, is waiting further testing to determine if the poor air quality is coming from tobacco. MTN's Kent Lutzen spoke with the museum director about this ongoing issue.
First and foremost, no one should walk into a public space and be affronted by tobacco odor in 2018. That's unacceptable and it's untenable. We have to find the source of this, and logic will tell us one thing, but data is going to tell us another.
Museum patrons began sending complaints of tobacco smell to the Missoula City County Health Department, which in return led to the Health Board filing a lawsuit against the Fool's End Cigar Club. The Children's Museum has elected to stay closed since the beginning of December due to the possibilities of poor air quality. Robert said with roughly 2,000 visitors a month, it's been hard to find other locations to host events, and it's been tough economically.
Revenue streams have been challenged, and so has our operations at large. We do have family education and curricular workshops that we lead that can still happen, but they have to happen off-site. So it's a real challenging logistical circumstance right now, but the reality is, until we fully understand what the source of the problem is and how to permanently solve it, we're not going to let guests back in here.
As for now, Roberts is hoping the tobacco-specific tests will bring a conclusion to this problem.
We just want to get back to a safe space, a healthy space, something that we have confidence in and the public can, without any doubt or concern, come and spend their money and invite their families and their babies to crawl around on our floor without any worry.
Kent Lutzen, MTN News, Missoula.
And we reached out to the health department, but they were unable to respond as they are currently in litigation with the cigar club. Search and rescue crews are making progress in Southern California's deadly mudslides. 17 people have been killed so far and 8 are still missing. CBS's Chris Martinez has the latest.
Crews are working to move mountains of mud from downtown Montecito, the small community hit hardest by the deadly storm and mudslides. Search and rescue teams are still combing through neighborhoods, checking damaged homes for any signs of life.
I have a few friends that they're missing their parents, brothers, stuff like that, and they don't know where they are.
Only about 9,000 people live in this part of Santa Barbara County. Montecito is home to many celebrities, including Oprah and Ellen DeGeneres, both of whom have expressed concern for the people affected in this community.
It's not just a wealthy community. It's filled with a lot of different types of people from all backgrounds. There are people who are missing family members. They're finding people and bodies. And
among those confirmed dead, Rebecca Riskin, a well-known area real estate agent, Roy Roeder, founder of a private Catholic school, Jim and Alice Mitchell, and Josie Gower.
A neighborhood this small, every single name that turns up is someone's dad, someone's cousin, someone's teacher. And that's got to be the worst part of it all, I think.
And in Los Angeles County, new video shows the intensity of the floods. This Prius was carried off when a nearby debris basin gave way. Much of Highway 101, the main road between Los Angeles and Santa Barbara, remains buried under several feet of dirt. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Montecito, California.
And more than 500 homes have been destroyed in that area, and the 101 is expected to reopen on Monday. A U.S. senator is demanding answers from Apple about why it slowed down older iPhones. Senator John Thune sent a letter to Apple CEO Tim Cook asking whether the company gave users enough information before slowing some of its devices. Apple said it slowed older devices with weakening batteries to keep them from shutting down unexpectedly. The company has until January 23rd to respond. Sears says it's planning $200 million in cost cuts following a dismal holiday shopping season. The announcement comes days after the retailer announced that it's closing more than 100 stores. Sears' weak holiday sales stand in sharp contrast to the strong season enjoyed by retailers like Macy's and Kohl's. Coming up, Erin is tracking more snow headed into the weekend, and she has the latest on our winter weather. Plus, it's filing day in Montana as candidates pay to get their names on the ballot for many different races. We'll have complete campaign